Hi, this is Chris Davis for Android Community and SlashGear, and today we're unboxing the Samsung Galaxy S. It's the company's latest Android smartphone, but the most interesting thing about it is that it has a huge 4-inch Super AMOLED display, just like we saw on the Samsung Wave. So let's have a look and see what you get. Inside, here's the phone itself. We'll come back to that in a moment. In terms of accessories, if we can get in this packet here, all the paperwork and a printed user guide. Underneath, the Getting Start quick guide there that talks you through the Android 2.1 OS that the Galaxy runs, and also Samsung's TouchWiz system. Then there's a pretty small AC adapter there, which charges via micro USB. A wired headset with an inline microphone and a button to answer calls. Standard USB to micro USB cable for synchronizing, for charging from your laptop, and also the battery itself. So in terms of the phone, let's have a quick look, just get this plastic off. It's very slim. It's obviously quite large at the front because that's a wide VGA 4-inch display. On the back there's a 5 megapixel autofocus camera, though there isn't a flash. It's also got this kind of slightly patterned finish in the plastic. Running around the outer edges, there's the power button on the right hand side. Up on the top there's a 3.5mm headphone jack and a micro USB port, which is just covered there by a little sliding panel. On the left hand side there's a volume control rocker, nothing underneath apart from the microphone. Now up front you've got the earpiece obviously, and a front facing camera there for video calls. Down at the bottom there's the call menu and the back buttons, which are touch sensitive keys, and what looks like a home button there, so there's no D-pad on it. Just take off this back cover. Now this has got 8 gig of memory built in. Samsung will also do a version which has got 16 gig built in. There's also a micro SD card slot there if you want to add up to a 32 gigabyte card, and a SIM card slot there obviously, and the battery slots into here. So we'll get a SIM card in it, we'll get it turned on, I'll have a quick run through of some of the features. So we've got a SIM card in the Samsung Galaxy S now, and as you can see, the screen's incredibly bright, incredibly detailed. We can pan through these various home screens that Samsung have set up using their TouchWiz interface, and there's plenty of empty ones to put your own widgets in. I don't know if you can see quite how good the viewing angles on this Super AMOLED display are. They're fantastic. You can still read stuff even at quite an acute angle there. Obviously there's all the usual Samsung Google apps, so move into the apps page here and you can see this Google Talk, the YouTube app, Samsung preloaded Think Free Office there. You get voice search of course from Android 2.1, and there's the usual gallery apps and layers preloaded as well. If we just move into the gallery here, I don't know what preloaded content there might be on the phone. Obviously this has just come out of the box and there's nothing, but you can obviously quickly take a photo from here. Not quite sure why it flips us around like that, but we can take a photo of something. So let's put the Nexus 1 down and then go back, and there obviously is our picture, and if we had any more we'd be able to scroll through those. Back to using this home button, back to the home screen. So there's obviously the regular Gmail clients, you get access to the Android market, YouTube, Write logo here, which is Write and Go, which is a text entry app. Also gives us a chance to look at what Samsung have done with the keyboard. So it's very similar to the standard Android keyboard. You can see the letters pop up over the top. There's no auto prediction turned on there, but we can turn that on 2. and as you can see we get suggestions running up at the top of the keyboard there, and also that'll obviously work in landscape portrait mode as well. And this can be used to update your status through Samsung's social networking service. So to do that we would need to log in, and as you can see we have a choice here of Facebook, MySpace and Twitter, and that links in, if we go back into the applications, it links in with the social networking hub, which is here, and basically allows you to check all of your Facebook messages, your Twitter messages, and MySpace messages, send out new ones, reply to them, all from here. Obviously one of the best things about having a huge display like this is that the internet experience is going to be great. So we're connected up over Wi-Fi at the moment. The Galaxy S supports Wi-Fi BG and N as well as tri-band HSDPA. So we can go to, say, the /gear homepage. Choose the standard view, which gives us the whole desktop view. And it's rendering really quickly. This is Samsung's own 1 GHz Hummingbird processor rather than the Snapdragon we've seen on other recent Android phones from HTC, for instance. And as you can see, yeah, it supports pinch zoom, double tap to zoom in, and that's in portrait mode obviously. It flips really, really quickly back to landscape mode. And of course, if you tap the menu button, you get obviously different windows, do everything you would kind of normally do on a browser. Now, there's no Flash support on this, so videos, for instance, won't play, Flash games won't play, but that's coming at some point in the future. Adobe has promised to release Flash 10.0, so hopefully we'll see the Galaxy S getting an update. Obviously, we've got a Nexus 1 here, so we'll just have a quick look to compare the two screens. The Nexus 1 obviously uses an AMOLED display, though it's not Samsung's Super AMOLED. Both set to, well, the Nexus 1 here is set on full brightness, and the quality's pretty good. I mean, it's certainly crisper, it feels, on the Samsung than it does on the Nexus 1. And obviously you get a bigger display on the Samsung, but otherwise pretty similar handsets. Both have 5 megapixel cameras, both run on 1 GHz processors. This particular Nexus 1's running on Android 2.2 Froyo, but Samsung certainly is a strong contender and has some different features. It has Bluetooth 3.0, for instance. It has the front-facing video camera, which the Nexus 1 doesn't have. So we'll be putting it through its paces ahead of the full review. Thanks for watching.